Hey, what's up guys? So I actually clipped out the beginning of this video because I sat there and rambled on for like 4 or 5 minutes long trying to make an intro and got off topic. But at the end of the day, this is a breakdown analysis of the FPX versus G2 esports grand final in the Blast Pack Invitational. I've never made a video like this, but I've been watching professional esports in first-person shooter type games like CS:GO, Rainbow Six Siege, and now Valorant for years now, probably close to 7 or 8 years, and I have a lot of experience watching and playing FPS shooters, and I'm really into the strategy behind how to play FPS shooters that isn't just pure gun skill. So in any case, I'm just gonna let the video get right into it. And if you guys enjoy videos like this, I'd appreciate if you leave a like, comment, subscribe, and let me know if you'd like to see more. As G2 was struggling pretty hard when it came to the way that they were attacking. They were just really struggling, trying to figure out how to execute on sites. So you see right here, this is the beginning of this round. They have 3 people over by B, 1 watching mid, 1 watching A. Now they did this throughout most of the game, where they would play default, essentially split up. This one person over here at B is kind of watching towards Cat.
Round number 3.
You watch
so this
throughout
hasn't
the round.
been an easy road for FPX.
But now they do come up against the full buy. And this is something that Shadow talked about. The fact that
now what you'll see here, you'll see
pistol,
Killjoy take a little map control here on A main. They're trying to push through B. They get a pick at B, which is huge. But then once they get tagged up, they just leave, right? They get their pick at B site. This forces Raze to rotate off A site. And now they start taking mid control and coming back over to A main. You have 1 going Cat. I'm going to pause it right here. So you have Sage holding mid. You have the Sova taking control of Tree, which is currently uncontested, but he doesn't know that. And then you have 3 people pushing A main with Bomb. Now their whole defense is now rotating back over to A because they see what's going on. They didn't realize that Sage was still in mid. There's a trade right there, but that's a huge trade, right? So now you have a 3-on-4 attacking site. They ult with Killjoy to give them more space. They smoke Heaven so nobody can peek close Heaven. And you'll see right here, the Killjoy throws a nano swarm to block off the right side of Heaven. So they have left side smoked, right side blocked off with the nano swarm. There is a little spot in the middle between the smoke and the nano swarm that someone could peek, but I'm sure somebody is holding that as they're pushing in. And the only person on site is this cypher, but they already have all of tree room. So as these people push in, they don't have to watch anything besides Jin, triple box, hell, close right corner, although the Sova probably checked this as he was coming in. So they really only have to worry about back Jin, triple box, hell, and then that little corner there in Heaven, which makes the attack a lot easier. They take Jin.
That's in a good spot. He'll be avoided. He won't be detained.
Easy kill in Jin, and easy kills in Heaven as the other team's rotating in. So this was just a great attack round. They get their pick on B site. They then rotate the whole push towards A as people are going to start rotating towards B. But they keep Sage in mid to watch that rotate. She gets a nice trade, makes it a 4-on-3 pushing into site. They ult site. Beautiful smoke, nano swarm. She actually missed her second nano swarm. I'm sure that was supposed to land somewhere else. You watch her miss that. They take control of tree room and they just push onto site. It is a 3v1 on site, and that's just an easy round for them. Great execute. Now, see, here's the thing. They may have won that round, but we will go to 6-14. All right. So this was actually just the next round. This next round, you see how Fun Plus Phoenix is playing their defensive setup. And I love this. I love the way that they're holding this, okay? So they have I'm like pointing even though you guys can't see. I'll use my mouse. So they have 2 people pushing A main. Now they're not pushing aggressively to flank. They're just holding all of A main, right? To make sure that nobody gets in over here. And they have 2 people playing it. That way they can play for the trade, right? They're going up against a Killjoy who's alone. And if the Killjoy pushes up, they have a 2-on-1 gunfight right there. Should be an easy trade, usually. Now, over here on B site, you have Breach and Sova playing. Breach can stun to make sure that they don't push aggressively, and the Sova can arrow, shock dart, drone to keep them, in B. These are both just stall tactics to figure out where they are. They only have 1 person in mid. They're leaving cat completely uncontested. They are essentially leaving all of mid uncontested because the Omen who's playing in market is going to ignore everything that's happening in mid, right? He's going to be playing for sound cues, but he's going to play very passively. That way, if they start taking mid, he can simply just either back up into CT or he can back up into B site.
Shadow sneaky play, Angel building up the
And this just works so well for them all game.
They take the aggressive fight straight away. That's something we haven't seen from FPX for quite a while. But a face I'm happy to see on them. This is dangerous. He's seeing them all. Xiao in with 1, and lucky that he only gets away with 1, to be honest.
Oh, the shock darts as well. He's looking to end a few more lives. He's done a hell of a lot of damage here.
So I'm going to pause it here. They got their pick in B. They have full control over here in A main. The Cypher is playing it absolutely perfectly, just holding a really hard off angle to contest in A, while the Rays pushed back to watch cat just in case somebody was pushing through mid, because the Omen most likely is not paying attention to anybody trying to push up cat.
The orb's going to be picked up, and well, Xiao's going to hear it all at least. If he wants to have another go, another spam.
Oh, they're resin? That's dangerous.
Already.
It was to try and bait that player out into peeking so that...
All right, now right here, you see Killjoy is trying for the majority of the game, she's trying to play a lurk, right? As the full team is pushing B site, she's trying to lurk and continue to give pressure over here on A site to force Cypher and potentially Raze to stay on A site, or at least stay in that direction. And if they don't, then she has a really easy flank behind them. This doesn't work. 9 times out of 10 at a top tier level, this is not going to work because Cypher's going to be playing strong off angles, right? And he knows that she is lurking almost every single round. And he knows that if he sees Killjoy, she's most likely by herself because she wouldn't be entering by herself, right? This allows these 3 people, because they're not contesting mid here, this allows them to just have this giant 3v4 on site. They wasted the Sage res. Now they're going to try to push into B site. But look at what happens. They get in, they get the Omen, they get pushed back from the Breach ult when she pushes up.
Tech can get the kill, but Xiao still coming through with wall bangs, took down David P from below. That's ridiculous, and they maintain an advantage.
It looks like they have sight, but they still have Sova playing in boat room. They try to ult the Sova back there, but nobody's pushing him aggressively enough. They kill him, right? The Jett gets sight, but now the Sova who has Spike can't get onto site himself. And he just gets absolutely demolished by 3 people in market. She tries to help out. The Jett tries to help out on stairs, and there's just nothing she can do there. So that defense was working insanely well for FPX, and even though they really didn't contest mid at all, it allowed FPX to always play for trades and never be a man down. I'm pretty sure in the first half they were very, very rarely ever a man down. Now this right here is probably my favorite thing that happened in this probably the entire 4 games that happened, and potentially the entire invitational. Now, G2 kept Sage boosting Mixwell up to hold cat, but it doesn't matter because nobody's peeking cat, right? They're holding A main, right? They're leaving cat uncontested because they know that that's a difficult spot to contest every single round. It's very easy to pinch that person. And so instead, they're just playing 2A main. They have a tripwire there. They know if that tripwire gets destroyed that they need to start rotating back into sight. People need to start rotating off. So she's essentially a good use of the Sage Wall here, but I believe it only gets 1 kill the entire first half. Now, immediately off the start of the round, you have Cypher watches to make sure nobody pushes A main, while Killjoy goes, or excuse me, Raze goes into Wine. So now she's holding a very dangerous angle. It's very easy to get destroyed there if Killjoy just throws a Nano Swarm, Omen Paranoias, anything. She's dead. Cypher can try to help, but he's also trying to make sure nobody comes from Cat. This is the big play right here. Omen drops a smoke right here, and instead of teleporting into the smoke, he teleports right to the side of it. Now, the point of this smoke is to make sure that anybody over here, which there was, the Sova, cannot get line of sight on him when he teleports right here. Now, obviously, he can cancel if this Jett pushes him, but the Jett doesn't push him. And instead, he pushes the Jett and immediately gets a nice kill. Now, because of this, these people are still trying to push A main because that's their plan. They're trying to push A main here, get aggressive on these 2 people. But it doesn't work because now they have to worry about somebody backside. So now they have to have the Sova watch spawn. And while this whole thing was going on, I didn't mention, the Sova was ulting towards this Sage and towards this Jett, just adding more pressure over here. And they're just getting crumbled with map, with, map control. Sorry. Now you see Raze gets her kill there, Omen gets her kill there, last 2 are stuck in spawn, and they end up just getting destroyed right here. Because they have nowhere to go. They have no map control. They're literally sitting in their spawn because of how FPX played that. Now, G2, when they were on defense, obviously they did win quite a few rounds, but the issue is the way that they were playing defense allowed, hold on, 33-26 is what I wrote down. They allowed FPX a lot more control of A main and B main, right? They tried to play a very wide, holding all choke points, have 1 person A main, 1 person B main, sometimes 2 people holding B main, 1 person holding Cat, 1 person holding mid. Now that's what most comp teams do, right? And just casual, plat, diamond lobbies, you're going to see that very often. You just, kind of put 1 person at each choke point. Well, this really doesn't work against a team like FPX because they capitalize on it immediately. Now, this particular round, they tried to take really hard, really aggressive map control, right? Sova from FPX knows that he can't peek because Jett has an op. She's most likely either holding Cat or holding mid, so he's not going to peek. He's going to wait and actually end up droning out. You see Sova, because he knows that he has that control, and there's a smoke here on mid link, he's pushing aggressively through mid. You have Omen holding Cat. And so they take really good map control, and this would work in a comp. In a competitive casual game, this would work. But you see, they get their pick on Breach, right? And it looks like it's going really, really well, right? They get rid of the Opper. They have full mid control. Now, I think the biggest issue right here, Sage rotates into mid for no reason. We already have 3 people mid. She rotates into mid for no reason. Maybe she's, just trying to heal up her team, help out if they think more people are pushing mid. But this leaves nobody on B site because they have so much going on in mid. They have 3 people holding mid. And FPX realizes this, and they just go, okay, well, if they're going to aggressively hold mid, let's just run through B site. And that's exactly what they do. He teleports up on the wall. Their Omen realizes that they're pushing B site, tries to teleport to boat, ends up getting... He was a little too late on that. You see a lot of trades come out here right in mid, right in market. And this round ended up just going towards FPX. He gets stuck on the 1v2 and ends up losing. And then the probably the worst round that we saw from G2 in this map. Now again, let me reiterate, G2 won the series, right? And they are the reigning champions for the past 6 tournaments. So I'm in no way saying that G2 was playing this bad. When it comes to competitive video games, there's a lot of back and forth, people watching, teams watching other teams, their VODs, watching their tapes and seeing how they play and counter playing against that. It just so happened that on this particular map, on Ascent, FPX played this a lot better than G2 did. And you could tell that they really studied the way that G2 played this. Now, the reason that this round is absolutely terrible, so they just lost their last round, making it 11-7. They lost the 11-7 round. Now it's 12-7. Now, they are on a force buy round. They have to force this round. And so they have marshals. Hold on, actually, I think I can back up and see all the guns that they have if I go right here. Okay, so they have Mixwell ends up buying a marshal. They have a guardian, a vandal, a judge, and a stinger. Now, this is a very crappy buy against vandals and one phantom. But the issue that they run into right here is they play way too aggressive with weapons that they can't play aggressive with. I understand Mixwell is pretty amazing. He got multiple 4Ks here on defense with the op, but he tries to peek mid with a marshal. And though the marshal is best at long range against a vandal, it's not likely going to happen. And they try to take very aggressive mid play here. So you see immediately Mixwell gets destroyed by Raze in mid. Now Raze knew that she could peek mid because she saw that they were on a force buy round. They're not going to have an operator. So she peeks mid, gets that kill right off the bat. Within the first 2 seconds of the round, gets the kill. Then immediately, right after that,
there's no map they can't beat them on. They can win this series.
Omen,
they can
dead at cat.
beat G2.
Then, David P, dead in B main. 2v5. Like this, way too aggressive. I understand that they're on a force buy round. They had to try to do something, but this isn't it. You don't play aggressive in mid on a force buy round. It's not going to work when it's match point, And there, everyone dies. For whatever reason, Artist tried to push B main, dies at the exact same place that Sage did. And then G2 Pith, their Killjoy, gets stuck on Cat and dies there as well. So just overall, FPX played this really well. Of course, they did end up losing the grand final series, but they won this map, and they won this map pretty well, 13-7. They lost some rounds on offense that they probably shouldn't have, that they could have played a little bit better. Obviously, G2 is an amazing team. So it's hard to go up against a team like that. But I just thought I would, shine some light on what this looks like. And one other little side note, for those of you who haven't realized, with the new patch and the new buff to the Vandal, almost all of the pro players, especially in EU, are exclusively using the Vandal. I'm pretty sure I only saw one Phantom this entire series, which is crazy because you go a month back and everyone used the Phantom, and you only saw like one Vandal. But in any case, I know this has been a bit of a long video. I had a lot to go over. I've never made a video like this, so I'm new to going over and analyzing videos like this. But if you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you'd leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this. I can try to cut them down, make them a little shorter. And yeah. Shout out to Godlike Valorant for actually posting the full game here on YouTube, because even though I don't know who Godlike Valorant is, most clips are just like little clips of good rounds on YouTube, and it's hard to actually find the full games on YouTube without going to Twitch. And most people know I hate Twitch, so I like to stay on YouTube as much as I can. But like I said, I appreciate if you leave a like, comment, subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and y'all take it easy.